It looks like Tony Khan fought at retaliation against NXT. This week, he brought out the big guns. This week, he brought out the old guns. He brought in his own legends for AEW Dynamite, and it still wasn't enough to beat NXT in the midweek wars. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. We've seen Sting and Ric Flair share a ring this week on AEW Dynamite, a combined age of 138 years old. And this is the same Tony Khan that was bashing NXT for having an appearance for Cena and Undertaker a couple of weeks ago. But I digress. Tony Khan brought in Sting. He brought in Ric Flair. He had Rob Van Dam on the show. But still, AEW Dynamite could only average out at 774,000 viewers, which was down 13,000 viewers on NXT's Halloween Havoc that only did 787,000 viewers, but without any of the legends like Cena or The Undertaker. So Tony Khan brought in his own old guys, his own wrestling legends, and it backfired on him.
It did. Ric Flair, the nature boy, still got it. 16-time world champ. Woo! He can strut, he can profile, but can he bring in the ratings? No. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, did we really expect Ric Flair to bring in the ratings? I mean, the guy's 18 to 49.
I mean,
demographics out the windy.
Christian Cage said that if God was real, Ric Flair would have died 20 years ago. Well, I think the ratings died 20 years ago. There's not many draws left in wrestling, but it doesn't look like Ric Flair is one. Now, you could argue he was a special appearance, a surprise appearance, but still, I mean, once he came out, it's not like the quarterly numbers went up. Sting was advertised for the show. The quarterly numbers didn't go up. Rob Van Dam came out. The numbers didn't go up. They had MJF defending his whatever it's called, his ring.
Diamond ring.
The diamond ring. They had that. MJF defending the diamond ring. Did under 800,000. We had the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks defending their Ring of Honor Trio Championships. And that didn't do anything. Under 800,000. We had Shida defending against Ruby Soho in her title match. That done nothing. In the main event, of course, we've seen the Blackpool Combat Club. Everybody says Jon Moxley's this massive star. And he didn't do anything either. So yeah, under 800,000 for AEW Dynamite, and the excuses now have to end. The excuses have to stop. We can't just say that NXT only beat AEW because of Cena and because of The Undertaker. It's not true. NXT's already beat AEW a few weeks ago before that show, before they moved to Tuesday. So this is now, I believe, 3 out of the past 4 weeks that NXT is beating AEW. Can we just acknowledge now that maybe it's not because of Cena, it's not because of The Undertaker, and it might just be because NXT has improved a hell of a lot over the past year, and the AEW is on the decline?
Yeah, acknowledge me, as Roman Reigns would say. Acknowledge the fact. NXT's on the... I mean, NXT is the most consistent show going. It's as simple as that. And obviously Taker and Cena help, but like you said, 3 of the last 4 weeks, 2 of those weeks have been without the stars, and they've beat them. And you know what? I think we're just going to see a continuous trend of 1 week NXT wins, 1 week.
I said that. I agree.
Dynamite wins.
I think that Dynamite will probably win more often than NXT, but I could see the longer it goes that maybe NXT then begins to overtake and begins to start being the brand, the show that more often than not comes out on top. But I think Dynamite needs to change. I mean, they stacked this show out, and it did a terrible number. It really did. 774,000 viewers. And Tony Khan, he brought up the fact that a couple of weeks ago, Cena and Undertaker had never been on a network show with under 1 million viewers. Well, guess what? Up until recently, Ric Flair, he'd never been on a show because TNA was doing over 1 million viewers every single week. So it's like, ever since Tony Khan said that, he said it on the same show where Edge did 600k, which was pretty embarrassing. I mean, he's bashing Cena and Undertaker for doing under 1 mil, and fucking Adam Copeland is doing 300k less than those guys. And then, Ric Flair in his entire history has probably never been on a show. And this guy's had a 50-year-old career. This guy's been wrestling for the 70s, but from network shows, from like television network shows, I would imagine he's never been on a show that had under 1 million viewers.
And here he is.
He left TNA before the ratings tanked, so they would not. Every TNA show would have been over 1 million. He would never have been on a WWE show under $1 million. He would never have been under a WCW show under $1 million. Even WCW in its dying days, they were still doing like $2.5 million.
Yes, so smoking the ratings compared to this shite.
So yeah, I mean, Tony Khan a couple of weeks ago, he tried the point score, and all of a sudden it's just backfired. Now he's bringing his own legends, and it didn't work. And we were told a couple of weeks ago that this was cheating. We were told that NXT and WWE were not playing fairly. They were trying to screw over AEW, and Jericho was crying about how they should bring in Shaq and bring in Tyson and bring in Snoop Dogg. I mean, all those guys are probably about the same age as fucking Ric Flair combined. But no, it's embarrassing. AEW cried about WWE using legends, and then AEW uses legends, and they still do a shit rating. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Let's not kid ourselves. You mean crying about using legends? I mean, what about the way they've used legends? Sting, guy's been part of a fucking tag team for like the best part of 3 years, doing nothing. I mean, like, the Stinger should have he should have a good run. You know, you talked about the bringing out the big guns. See, if Sting was actually used in a good fucking story, maybe the ratings would be better. Maybe people would want to tune in and see Sting going for the world belt, but no, he's next to a fucking midget in clown boots with a sling on his arm. I mean, who wants to see Sting next to this guy? I mean, you get Flair and Sting in the ring.
How out of place?
70, right?
How out of place did he look?
Yeah.
Darby Allin standing in the same ring as Sting and Ric Flair.
Schiavone.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck, it's embarrassing, but yeah. I mean, let's be real. Wrestling's dead. Ric Flair coming out, it was never going to pop $1 million, was it?
It'll be interesting to see what Tony Khan's excuse is this week. Is he going to have a little meltdown? Oh, NXT used a brand at pay-per-view. They called their show Halloween Havoc.
How many times has AEW? Oh, Battle of the Belts. Oh,
well, I'm pretty sure that's what this
Holiday Bash.
I'm pretty sure they called this something. It had a special name. So
people were saying though this Dynamite card was like pay-per-view worthy.
You know, it was. They stacked out. Well, they had...
And you read it out and it sounds like shite.
No, it was... To me, it sounded like shite, but for AEW, they could have done much more. The Elite defending the titles, the Women's Championship on the line, MJF defending the Broken Ring, Bullet Club Gold, the Moxley faction, whose name I can't remember, the international champion, Orange Cassidy, as well, in the main event. I mean, the Sting, RVD came back. I mean, they pretty much had everything they could possibly do.
RVD came back. This guy's coming back every 3 weeks. Is he not going to just have a run? TNA
wants you back, Rob. Anyway, guys, it'll be interesting. Tony Khan, I'm sure, he's probably on Twitter right now. Yeah, we're going to end this video and we're going to see what sad shite Tony Khan is tweeting.
What's he spewing?
And have you seen
I'm not Shane.
I'm not Shane. My ratings ain't good. They're bad. They're bad. They're very bad. Anyway, guys, 787,000 for AEW Dynamite. Shocking. This is a company that, let's be honest, was probably doing about 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 for a solid period of time. But it has declined. And who knows? CM Punk, switch your phone on. And Tony Khan might come calling sometime soon.
He might! Switch it on, damn it! Don't have it on airplane mode. Ric Flair survived an airplane crash.
Well, I don't think AEW is going to survive this crash because the ratings, as Marcus Corvon would say, are going down, 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 down. Anyway, guys, till next time. Peace.